break down the animated Seth MacFarlane world, right, which encompasses Family Guy, American Dad, and Cleveland Show, which is now that's been off the air for a while now. I think American Dad is 10 times better than any of them. I think American Dad's the best one because it's more like a sitcom and less, let's do as many cutaway gags as possible. And
Right.
Family Guy, it was fun at first, but after 50, almost 20 years of it, it's gotten old fast.
Well, like the chicken fight of like that scene had me dying laughing.
Yeah.
But then they did it again. And then they did it again, and it's like, well, it was only funny that one time.
Yeah.
It didn't have the same appeal of like, I've already seen this joke of like, and I feel like Family Guy tries too hard to rehash jokes that worked in the past, whereas American Dad of like, it is set up more like a sitcom, so you can develop it a little bit more like that.
And the things they get Patrick Stewart to get to say on there, that alone deserves an Emmy. Like, I think that to me is just absolutely amazing. He's hilarious in there. So I was just watching this past season. And so that's my, like I said, I don't know if it's really a hot take. What do we got here? Obviously, you have no score. I got 16,330,817.
Get set, go! Look who made a speedy recovery. No. I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Lake Man.
Wheels and the Lake Man. Like, that whole bit was funny.
They have, there's a lot. They brought it back a couple times, but it's funny because it's like Jake and the Fat Man. It's like those like procedurals that they used to have in the 80s.
Right. That and Roger is just so good.
Well, Roger's like, the best thing about Roger is the fact that every episode it's like having a different main character.
Right.
Because he's rarely himself. He's always like he's always got like 800 different persona careers. Like,
Right.
oh yeah, I did this and I was doing. When the hell did this guy have time to do this?
Yeah, and like, doesn't he spend most of his day just hiding out in the
Getting drunk?
Yeah. Popping pills, you know?
One of the episodes I was watching, he was playing two characters, and so like one of them was trying to take out one of his personas, so he had to like find ways to like leave. And Haley's like, Roger, I know both of these are you. Like, you don't have to like make it like sneak. Like, I'm gonna go get, you know, like they used to do in sitcoms.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're trying to have like two parties at once. You know, those type of. It was doing something like that where he has to like leave for like make an excuse and come back. Like, I know they're both you.
Every
There's
Wheels
zero
and the
reason
Legman
for
is
it.
the same. You pick some boring case, you bicker, then you solve it. The solution usually being that Roger is the culprit.
Wait, what's that?
Then Krause being
Costume.
this destitute character who's like, gets no respect.
Wheels,
None.
have you seen Papa Wheelie? He didn't come home last night.
All right, you have visual? All right, stay 3 car lengths behind her and check in with me every half hour.
Look who made a speedy recovery. No.
Oh, that came down quick.
Go Team Smith.
Went to the ATM, busted out my $40 quick cash. I got my comb. I'm ready to party.
All right, there it is. Gotta hit that. Gotta hit
I'm
that.
Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Lake Man.
Ah.
Lake Man.
All right, gotta hit that target, guys.
Gonna do man
Got
stuff
it.
tonight. Gonna do man stuff tonight. Acting like a genius.
Ooh. Okay, let's see if I can get that here.
Gonna do
Got
man
it.
stuff tonight.
All right, so I got 2 of them.
Gonna
There,
do
got
man
the
stuff
third
tonight.
one.
Sorry, boys.
Got the last one. Beat that mission.
Something might go down somewhere in some way at some point in time, so look sharp.
I guess we all knew it would end up like this. Good work, Smith. Whatever you're doing, keep it up.
What? I failed though. Why would you want that?
Upgrade of this table.
Can you hand me my phone? Because I suppose there is enough time for me to
This one you don't have to worry about taking a picture because it leaves your score up. Press the launch button. Launch button. Launch button.
Congratulations!
Notch button.
See, that's
Continue.
what, see, it'll pop up your score, so you don't need to take pictures on the
Yeah, that's
on
true.
these ones.
I just press launch to begin.
They always putting away to win these games.
Look who made a speedy recovery. No. I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Leg Man. You're the Leg Man.
Something might go down somewhere in some way at some point in time. So look sharp.
Duh.
This one
Bummer.
survived.
Ball saved. Okay. Got up that ramp.
And it's now or never.
Trying to get up that lane. Twice. Failed.
Tearjerker. Smith. Stan Smith.
So I swore that one day I'd make the whole world cry by making the saddest film of all time.
No, no.
You'll never catch me!
You're running out of time.
You'll never catch me!
And as we start to approach the end of the year, guys, I want to hear from you. What has been your favorite games that you've played this year? They don't have to have come out this year.
Just your favorite game that you played this year.
Yeah.
Could be an old game.
The
Could be a
real
retro
truth
game.
is, I do have big stuff going on. Acting like a genius. I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Leg Man. You're the Leg Man. Why did I ever stop wearing this?
That doesn't nudge.
Never going to let go of this
No,
hand.
but I had the
ever
nudge
again.
working at one point a long time ago, but I've never got it working again.
Bummer.
Okay, let's do this.
Am I on ball 2?
Well,
Yeah, ball
Stan, I
two.
guess it makes no difference now.
Gotta play it like it's at the arcade. Ball saved.
Good free run.
Yeah, I gotta say these newer tables, even if it's newer from Stern, they do generally a bit better of a job of giving you a break on
Seen you be very careful
when
out
you
there today.
when you
Every
first start
Wheels and
playing the
Leg Man
table.
is the same.
Because
You pick some
sometimes you just
boring
get
case,
these
you bicker,
these
and you
turns
solve it.
that the ball
solution
either
usually
straight
being that
drains
Roger
or
is
it
the
goes
culprit.
off
You
into
are a
I don't know what you call them, but
complicated
the left and right
We're
aisles
coming for you.
that go into
Running out of
drain.
time.
We have your associate. If you want him back alive, we will trade him for the key.
I
Nope.
thought there was something fishy about all this, Legman.
All right, quiet down, everyone. Well, Stan, I guess it makes no difference now.
What's up, Dark?
What's up, man?
Yeah, we found out. I think last week's stream was the first one with the new settings for video on here because the video was lagging and whatnot. So we fixed that, and now we're using, at least mic-wise, the new mixer.
How does it sound?
He said it sounds great.
Awesome.
You're a complicated man, Smith.
Is it an improvement? Do you notice it?
Definitely.
Nice.
You're running out of time.
I know I'm running out of time, but I'm trying to.
I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Leg Man. You're the Leg Man. And here it is. I'm the Decider.
The Decider! That is classic! I am loving this!
No.
Good,
Ball saved.
free run.
Very, very liberal usage here.
Do you think it's because it's a liberal show?
Oh, absolutely.
They're like, we have to do liberal ball saves on this. We have to.
We have to.
They told me.
Ball out. I think that's going to be it for me. +5 experience.
Good work, Smith. Whatever
Total
you do,
11 million.
keep it up.
Okay, it doesn't beat your score, but
You have leveled
I
up
feel better.
this table.
All right, I'll
Just
tell
let me
you
know.
it.
Single player
Score is 11 million
Hold on, let me get to that point. 11 million.
50,068. 050068.
05068.
On your mark, get set, go! Look who made
Gotta run to the
speedy
bathroom.
recovery. No.
Let's see what kind of. Last week, I had started off real bad, but then I ended up getting absolutely insane scores on everything for the rest of the stream. I really had a crazy score on the Goonies table that I don't think is ever going to be beaten. I had insane scores on 1942.
Sir, she is my daughter.
I also had an insane score on ice cold beer. So I really finished out strong. So let's see how today goes scoring wise. Nope.
Take it easy, Smith. No!
Patrick Stewart beat
This isn't
me.
over, Smith. I know, right? Well, Stan, I guess it makes no difference now.
Little combo there.
Nice.
Not quite up
Me,
that.
Roger, the whole time. I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels
Let's
and
see.
the
I'm
Leg
trying to get
Man.
up that middle
You're
one.
the Leg Man.
Almost.
The real truth is, I do have big stuff going on.
The real truth is, Roger, when do you not have big stuff going on? He's always up to something crazy.
Why did I ever stop?
That's what I think's so funny too about like how he's just been. How have you been doing this for like years?
There's a dirty.
And what's with Stan? He knows that he's harboring an alien.
Yeah, but in the newer seasons, they don't. Like Roger's never hiding anymore. He's always some persona. He's never just, rarely just Roger, unless he's just sitting around the house. But see, even then, come on, we got to hit one of Roger's personas.
You got
I
it.
got to pop. It's got to. There it is. I see it.
Wheels and the Leg
Damn it.
Man. You're the Leg
Missed
Man.
it.
And here it is. I'm the Decider.
The Decider.
That is classic! I am loving this!
And I think that Roger's actually Seth MacFarlane's
is
most
the real
unique voice. It
business.
sounds nothing like him. I
Yeah.
didn't even know for years it was him.
Time.
That it was something.
That he did also Roger. I didn't know he did. Obviously, I know he does Stan because it sounds like him.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he did Roger as well.
I just learned that just now.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
We have your
Because I was like looking one day, I was like, I wonder who voices Roger. I'm like, oh shit, he voices Roger. Oh, that's something that you can.
pretty unusual house.
You are a complicated man.
Gotcha.
But it
Gotcha.
did-
Got 2 of them, 3 of them, and then
And drain.
ball save though.
ball
It
save,
turned
though.
on as.
Seth MacFarlane is a comical genius of like.
I thought there was something fishy about all this, Legman.
What is it? 100 Ways to Die Out West? 1,000 Ways to Die Out West?
Him already.
It's like the one PlayStation movie that or one movie that I had on my PlayStation that I had on repeat for a long time. With Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Oh come on,
Not
the
Theron,
kickback
but
was
Theron.
lit.
Route includes
My bad. I'm not trying to say people's names wrong.
Stop and get you a new attitude.
And like he,
Thank the stars
with,
you made it. Come here, I got you. Well, Stan, I guess it makes no difference
no,
now.
I can't
The
think of it
real
right now.
truth is, I do have big stuff going on.
come on.
This one survived.
Oh, I can't think of it right now. I'll think of it here in a second.
100
Oh, there it is.
100 Ways to Die in the West. Yeah. That movie's it's quite good. It's really good. I like both the Ted movies. I'm glad that they didn't make Ted 3 of like.
They already have the prequel TV shows on.
Yeah, the TV shows I'm okay with of like. But there doesn't need to be a third movie.
But isn't a TV show basically just a longer third movie?
Could be. What are they getting? Mark Wahlberg as?
No, I think it's a prequel.
Okay.
It's just a
Yeah,
more
prequel.
focused on
So.
Ted.
This is my town.
Whoa, I'm getting some crazy multi-ball going on.
Wait, what's this?
All that ball saved of like.
It's lovely. Shit! Hey, you gotta bring me a change of clothes. Shit!
Oh, I thought that was going around for some reason. Orville, Orville
yeah.
is so good because it's like very much old school Star Trek, and it's like the first season they were kind of trying to do a balance of it being funny, but then they said no, we're just gonna go make actually an actual Star Trek show, and then it got like more, and he like goes like hard on like topics that are really going on right now, which Star Trek's always been doing.
Right,
that. Whatever's
always.
Interracial stuff. There's like trans stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that's like in culture right now.
Sure,
that's going
sure.
on, and it's done and it's weaved in there very well by using science fiction, which science fiction's always been a mirror to whatever's going on in the world. And
Same can be said about horror.
and so I think that it's so well done and it's interesting. Like they did the last season on Hulu, which was really good, but they've been waiting for it to be renewed and they haven't heard anything, so everybody's worried it's going to get canceled. But
Right.
then the Ted TV show is about to come out, so they're like, well, Second Part probably wouldn't announce another season of the Orville since he was doing that.
Yeah, he's on another
Yeah.
project anyway, so.
But that was always his thing. He always wanted to be in Star Trek.
Right.
So, like, I mean, because he's in it, too. Like, that's him
Yeah.
live action acting every single
Right.
week. So, he does a pretty good job. He's definitely not the best actor on there. He's a better
Ooh.
voice actor than he was.
Yeah, that's a new high score.
Yeah, there it is. He's a better voice actor than he is an in-person actor, for sure. But
Yeah.
he still does a pretty good job.
Just waiting. Waiting for I scored. Everything, man. Everything all at once. So we got 18,793,106. You got it in there.
Well, you're getting a top secret assignment.
Well, Stan, I guess it makes no difference now.
very let's see here. Upcoming.
I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Lake Man.
So for me, Final Fantasy 16 was a great play this year.
Francine, you be very careful out there.
A Jedi Fallen Order was amazing.
Big stuff going on.
Baldur's Gate, of course.
Baldur's Gate 3 for sure. Like, it's one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time.
Team Smith.
Does your route
Bummer.
include the attitude store where we could stop and get you a new attitude? On your mark, get set, go!
Did not get a ball save there.
Look who made a speedy recovery. No.
Played tons of arcade games.
Yeah.
You are a complicated man, Smith.
But I mean, that's kind of a given. That's kind of what we do here.
Some way at some point in time. So look sharp.
I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Lake Man. You're the Lake Man. And here it is. I'm the Decider.
The Decider! That is classic! I am loving this!
Got both crates.
Surprise! Why did I ever stop wearing this?
You think I'd come in here without a
It
plan
was
B?
so close.
Sea of Stars was a great throwback RPG
Time.
this year that also came out. I need my list. I can't remember all the games that I played this year.
I don't remember if Diablo 2 remaster came out this year,
I think so.
Come here, I've got you.
but the remaster looks really, really good.
Look who made a speedy recovery.
My only thing is I started a character on hardcore, and there's no one online playing hardcore, so it's hard to get the loot that's necessary for you to be effective in the game, especially in hardcore. But that's what makes it hardcore.
Yeah.
Francine, you be very careful out there today.
No, but they did a really good job. There's a really neat feature to where you can toggle between the graphics of old school Diablo 2 to the remastered version, and you can do this at any time. So if you want to see what it used to look like in comparison to the way they smoothed everything over in high definition, it's so cool. It's one of the coolest things, one of the coolest features I've seen. Whoa.
Went to the ATM, busted out my $40 quick cash, I got my comb, I'm ready to party. Gonna do man stuff tonight. Gonna do man stuff tonight.
Shoot again.
Survived.
The only thing is I don't know what I'm supposed to be shooting for.
Costume. And it's lovely.
Nope. I gotta shoot again.
Good free run.
Couldn't quite make it up there, but we got it there. We gotta shoot again. That's still lit.
So this isn't a list of all the games I played, but these are at least a list of the games that I beat this year. So Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion, and I'm glad that I didn't play it on PSP. I'm glad I got to wait till there's a console remake of it. Because I think I would have enjoyed it more. It's never been much of it. But that really tied in a lot of explanation to some of the questions I had for Final Fantasy VII. And plus it was more action-oriented, which was a good primer to Final Fantasy 16 this year. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Oh, I bet that
game,
was good.
yeah, it looked just like going to see a CGI movie. Like it looked like it was a CGI cartoon. It was so well done. A lot of fun. Proteus was a lot of fun as well. It's a throwback to ID, early 90s, Doom, those type of games.
Nice, yeah, for sure.
So that was a lot. That was fun. Couple hours. I went through Yakuza 3 and 4. I'm trying to play through all the Yakuzas. 3 was a lot of fun. 4, 5, I'm struggling through. I got to get through it. Neon Abyss was a lot of fun. There's a Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Here's some rando arcade games I beat. Everybody's gonna remember my playthrough of Cliffhanger Edward Randy. That's a million viewed clip on YouTube.
Oh no, Stan.
Magic Sword, though, was an amazing game that I'm very surprised that Capcom. It's a game that you don't hear a lot about. Classic Capcom.
Single player results.
There it is.
Whoa! Did I beat your high score?
Yep.
Yeah. Give me a second to get over there.
So yeah, Magic Sword was a lot of fun. The most frustrating but rewarding game that I beat this year was Super Mario The Lost Levels, which was actually Super Mario 2 in Japan. People did like watching me fail on that. 23,419,010. I played through all of the Adventure Islands this year. And of course, we have to stop here and be serious right here about something that was really near and dear to my heart this
Yeah, we're
year.
gonna break it down.
And that was playing Barbie on NES.
Yeah, Barbie. I watched it. I watched that stream. I wasn't there for it.
He watches it while he's on the toilet.
Yeah,
so.
it's so good. It's such a chef's kiss of a game that you want to take
And I
your
had to
sweet
use
little
cheats
treats.
to beat it. I had to use Game Genie codes to beat it because it was just so poorly made. It wasn't because it was hard. It was just poorly made.
Bad design. Which imagine you're a little girl and you're like, Barbie's my favorite thing, and you get that as a Christmas gift, and it's
Yeah.
like your first video game.
And no wonder the little girls back then didn't play a lot of video games because
Yeah.
the games that they made for them were poorly made.
They were garbage.
They should have put the Mario team behind it.
Oh, did you also know of so I heard about this. I don't know if this is true, but they always kept the video game section near the boys section instead of the girls section. I read that online. I don't know if that's and we can all trust the internet on its.
That's all I do.
Well, I'll skate with you. It'll be fun. I entered us in a little couples competition down at the
Uh-oh.
rink.
This is new.
Our routine, I want you to do a cell count.
Oh, what's going on here?
And it's not the Olympics. Wait, is it? Ow!
Okay, you don't want to hit him.
Afternoon. Maybe you should take
Okay, there we go. Every time you get past him, it's good. No.
Not Francine.
Always thought people ice skated to escape their haunted.
No.
Oh.
No, it's just fun. Damn it, Francine.
That
what's
was
so hard
fun,
about
though.
doing it flawlessly the first time.
But if we talk about big movies of the year, you can't talk about big movies and not talk about Barbie, though. Barbie made a crap ton of money. It was well reviewed. I mean, it's not for me.
Yeah,
But
yeah, Dark. Baldur's Gate actually made it into Magic the Gathering. This game made it, this close from launch. They have their own Magic the Gathering cards,
cool.
which makes sense. I mean, it's a Dungeons and Dragons anyway.
Yeah, Wizard of the Coast owns both anyway.
Yeah. So, WotC can do that, but it's seriously a really good RPG of I am blown away of your playthrough won't be exact as you do it next time, right? Of I'm playing as a barbarian, and if I use a lot of the barbarian traits, I wind up in combat more often than not.
I do because of my mouth. I'm a mouthy rogue. I'm not necessarily a bad guy. I'm not always intimidating people, but I always kind of obviously, when you're talking to an NPC, they can't tell that you're just fucking being sarcastic.
Right.
It should have parentheses. That's the new thing they want. Baldur's Gate 4, we need a sarcastic option, so parentheses, so I know how it's going to be said.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
I feel like you need to do this. I don't need to do shit.
And one of the things I got to say of I got back into Magic this year because it's been a while since I played it, and I started playing with my dad, and that was great. It's awesome, being able to have someone you can consistently sit down with and throw some cards. It's pretty rad.
I'll be dead before I try that Doctor Who deck.
We gotta get you going. We gotta make the time to do it.
Excuse me. Anyway, this is my town.
Nice save.
Acting like a genius. I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Leg Man. You're the late
Sometimes I think it's gonna go over, like, you know, loop
Yeah.
down, and
It's
it
the
doesn't.
same. You pick some boring case, you bicker, then you solve it. The solution usually being that Roger is the culprit.
This would be so advanced as an actual pinball table. I bet it could be done, but
Here it is.
Oh, that's the
Oh.
first time I've seen that.
The decider! That is classic! I am loving this!
I need to hit the decider. Bram! Ah, missed it.
You're running out of time.
no
Here it
shit,
is.
Sherlock.
Got it.
There we go.
Ah!
Oh,
See,
one.
that's what that's for. Okay.
Yeah.
You are a complicated man, Smith. We're not to be disturbed.
There we go.
You're running out of time.
Oh, Patrick Stewart threw the pinball at me.
I thought there was something fishy about all this, late man.
There he is again.
They told me.
He keeps grabbing the pinball and throwing it.
Oh, hey, Steve. Hey, you were right. Snot's great.
Oh my! I got
Oh.
an achievement. Pissing off Bullock or Bullock multi-ball.
Air guitar.
Like the last episode was like
Extra ball.
that I watched was Roger, like Uncle Roger had like a Christmas sex party that he'd throw every year, but he was like not gonna have. He's like, I'm trying not to have sex, and like Bullock's in there just doing the most creepy sexual things. I just think it's so funny. Like that's Patrick Stewart. Like I mean, it's not him physically, but I mean it is him. Like you know, just saying like the most sexually offensive things. That's got to be fun to write. Like, ooh, what, do you think Patrick Stewart would say this? Because that would, I'd want to be in that meeting.
Yeah, I would too. Of like, do you think we can get him to do this?
What?
What? Outer hit. Inner hit. I love it's in Roger's bar.
Okay. That was still something. That was new.
Hey, thanks, Dark. He says it looks and sounds so much better.
You need to zip it,
Good.
lock it, and put it in your pocket.
That's what we're aiming for. I've been wanting to get the audio quality up to par, and I think the mixer has done the trick. Well, at least I'm hoping so.
I'm Wheels. Together we're Wheels and the Lake Man.
Because we've been able to add on compression onto the audio, so that way it shouldn't peak. I EQ'd it a little bit to try to cut out some of the back noise, so that way the microphones only pick up our voices, or at least as close as I can get it. And there might be still some tweaking later down the line that I may have to do, but I think I got it to where it needs to be for the stream.
Complicated man, Smith.
Oh! Oh, wow. Okay. Didn't expect that was going to be saved. Didn't look like it was lit.
Point in time. So look sharp.
The real truth is, I do have big stuff going on.
But still, my favorite line, one of my favorite lines to say that still stays to this day is from Family Guy, and that's, you knew what this was. Like, every time somebody's pissed off about something that was obvious, that's what I
Right.
say. And also that one episode where, like, what's his, I can't remember his name, but he's like, I knew you come crawling back, Joe. And he's like, obviously 'cause he's in a wheelchair, but he's not in his wheelchair and he's crawling back. Like, I just thought that was so funny. I knew you'd come crawling back.
Oh, this isn't over, Smith.
It's a lot of things being, damn, this is almost 7 million bonus.
Okay, let's
All right, I'm at 30 million on my, and I still have one more ball.
Look who made a speedy recovery.
Yeah, thanks, Dark.
I'm Wheels.
Dark, you watching a football game from 1996? No.
It's a costume.
Ah!
And it's lovely.
We spent some time working on getting everything set up between the systems, and hoping that the mixer, when we translate over to the other arcade machine, that it all, you know, chef's kiss, sounding great, looking great.
Mic wise, that's not gonna. We're just not that. Just right now, we don't have the right cord, at least for the main arcade, to get the game audio through the mixer.
Yeah.
But we will be able to have, at least today, still the microphones going.
The microphone, so our voices should be clear, and hopefully not picking up any additional background and kind of kill out some of the echo that you guys have experienced in the past.
Raymakers Leonard liked my reel. Well, thank God. I know. Oh crap! That was like my second ball. I thought that was my third ball.
Well, no, you get so many ball saves that it's almost confusing, you know? Because we translate this over to, like, regular arcade of, like, the ball goes out, that's it, bud, that's all you get.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, my sweet. Soon we will be together.
Ball one locked.
Surprise!
How great of a voice actor is Seth MacFarlane? I mean,
Something might go down somewhere in some way at some point in
in recent generations, he's probably my favorite comedian. I feel like Family Guy has run its course, but American Dad...
But he's not really involved in them anymore. Like, you know, he's so busy. He's not in the writer's room. He comes in and he just voices whoever, you know? Like, he just has a script. There's only so much he can do.
But it's got to be a relief for him, too, because how long are you willing to work on a project, you know, of like...
I don't know, let's ask Matt Stone, Trey Parker, Matt Groening, especially Matt Groening.
Yeah, Matt Groening of like...
Or any of those people that have been doing The Simpsons. James L. Brooks for so many years.
40 years?
30, 36, I think it is.
Okay, so I'm a little...
34, I think 34 is.
I'm overshooting it, but... But that's a long time for a series to exist.
Yeah. That's
probably one of the
scripted
longest.
Show, yeah. Like if soap operas have lasted longer, like nightly news type of shows have lasted longer.
Yeah.
Game shows, stuff
60
like that.
seconds.
But yeah. Those type of shows, but those
Wheel
are
of
that's
Fortune.
different. It's not scripted.
Jeopardy. Trying to think of like very long standing ones that shows that everyone should know. Unless if you don't, you know, there's an entire generation that's never seen paid for TV, so they wouldn't know Wheel of Fortune, they wouldn't know Jeopardy, they wouldn't know Judge Judy.
Oh, the Jeopardy's super popular with the younger generation. It is massive, dude. I see Jeopardy shit all of the time.
Really?
Yeah. People are, because nerdy stuff's pop. We were just talking about that, how like, you know, we live in an era where like kids, yeah, there's kids that do sports and stuff, but they have like, it's cool to go to like the academic decathlon and stuff. Like, we live in a different era, so that's like a show for nerds. And there's more nerdy kids now that feel comfortable being nerdy. That it's super popular.
Which is good because the nerdier you are, of like just the more knowledge you have, of like the smarter you are. Like that should be appreciated. Even some of the best athletes are actually intelligent. They're not, I throw a ball, I do good, of like, no, they analyze what they're doing, of like, they're so specific of like, no, if we do this, if we can achieve, you know, this play, we can
Sir, she is my daughter.
we can figure this out, right? Like,
Uh-oh, there it is. Fighting bullet.
nerds rule. Yeah, Dark.
Well, I was talking to my friend Brittany the other day, and she was like, I'm on my way to go pick up my son from Dungeons and Dragons Club. And then I was like, oh, what other club's he in? I forget what, but it was like, when I was a kid, it was, you got beat up if you played that. Like, still was, like, and now, like, no, all the cool kids are doing that. So, like, that's what I'm saying. It's such a difference. So, like, shows, you know, that used to be just for nerds are now popular.
See, in my generation, if you were in the anime club and whatnot, of like, you were generally okay. Of like, you might still get picked on, but you weren't beat up. Of like, you might have gotten some gruff, but overall, like, but I think that really changed. Like, I was in the PlayStation 2 era, you know, when I was going through high school, and a lot of kids had Xbox or PlayStation 2. A lot of kids, even the jocks had that. Of like, even the bullies didn't really pick on you because you were nerdy. They found other things to pick on you for.
Like they didn't like your face.
Yeah, exactly. Of like. I don't know, anime was still pretty taboo of like, if you were in the anime club of like...
It wasn't really until around 2008. It wasn't until Death Note had an English. And
right.
everybody watched that. It's the one anime that people who don't like anime like. So that was, yeah, it was still quite a ways away from that. Because we knew some people that watched anime, but they were like a different type of nerd than us.
Right.
We were nerdy, but we weren't anime nerdy. It was like, you know, you would say that, be like, well, I don't watch anime.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'll put my fist back in my pocket.
You bicker, then you solve it. The solution usually being that Roger is the...
Now with how large spread video games are, you can be like, fuck yeah, I love anime.
Oh yeah, it's very well. It's very accepted now because there's just adaptions. It's just like film. People thought that anime was always going to be, oh, look at this cute little girl, like, and then like
right.
no, they have horror animes, they have comedy animes,
right.
they have romance animes, they have something for everybody, and it's just a different type of way of storytelling that you really have to just get used to how Japanese people write characters is not the same as American characters.
So I gotta ask you, of like, what was the first anime that you really got into?
Death Note.
Death
It
Note?
was because Danny was like he didn't like anime either, and then he kept talking about it, and I'm like, all right, and so me and Granny Goodness watched it all the way through, like just watched the entire thing, and then from there, what did we? I think Attack on Titan had just started, so we started watching that, and then I just watched a bunch of stuff like Initial D. I can't remember all the ones I've watched now. A lot. Black Butler was another one we watched.
Okay.
So you got Danganronpa. I really liked that one. God, there's a couple. There's like a bunch. I'd have to. We just went because Hulu has a huge library.
Oh, for sure.
And so we just would go and like, oh, okay, and we'd like look at online. What is this?
So the first.
Oh no! It was a multi-ball.
Yeah, I could barely see it. So my first anime that I really got into was it was also on Adult Swim, was Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one. I mean, I've seen an episode here and there, but
it's only like a couple seasons.
Yeah, it's not. I know it's not very long.
Yeah, unfortunately, of like I wish it had more to it. Of like, but I feel the same way about Firefly. But then I think about Firefly and I'm like, no, maybe it had a movie. You know, of like, it had a season in a movie. Maybe that's good enough.
There's some weird, like, not weird, but I've seen a lot of like sci-fi ones as well. What's that one? Oh shit.
What's put her to a vote? Anyone in favor?
Neon Genesis.
Yeah.
And then Aeon Flux.
In your face with a can of ace.
Ghost in the Shell. If you haven't seen that one,
I've seen all of the Ghost in the Shell.
yeah, that one was awesome.
So I've seen a lot of those.
You ever see Blue Seed?
Sounds familiar.
This one survived.
It's been a while since I watched it, but it was good. No, but
Erased. That's one I really like. That's when I was like, man, I didn't know they made like literally drama. Like that shit was sad. The whole series was just like very like dark and sad.
Yeah.
And it dealt with a lot of like issues.
oh, you just the ball came back to you and you looked
didn't see
away.
it.
You looked away.
That's right. I got some insane scores. I'm continuing my insane score stuff. I don't need this.
No, I can just tell you.
Total bonus was just 15 million. Look at that score! Look at that score, guys.
Excellent. You have unlocked the achievement.
Dark says Revenge of the Nerds, the whole series. I do like those movies, but
Probably not quite I think in our day and age, it's definitely one of those movies that are series that people say that it was fine at the time, but those guys were creeps to go. They were especially the first one's very rapey, very rapish.
If like all jocks think about is sports, all nerds think about is sex. I'm like,
nerds were doing some creepy shit. Like it was. All right, where is it? It's 77.
77,290,968. There you go.
All right, you
I was just talking about how the insane scoring.
with me every half hour.
I'm wheels. Together we're wheels and a leg man.
I just let it drain.
The leg man.
Well, you had all these people that were like the quote unquote like stereotypical nerd, like say in like the 50s and 60s, and they get beat up. But then they started all these tech companies, right? And they became rich. So then the next generation's like, wait a minute, being a nerd's cool because I can make more money.
I can make a
You don't have to wear thick rimmed glasses and have a pocket calculator. You could be a nerd and dress nice and, you know,
take a shower.
Yeah.
Seriously, you can be a nerd and you can still take a shower.
Unless you're gaming in China. You die at that. I mean, those
die
people in
at the
Korea,
keyboard.
yeah, those people, those kids that have died. And if you guys, we're trying to get to 400 followers by the end of the year, guys. We got quite a bit to go.
Damn.
So if you have not followed us, go ahead and drop that follow. Even if you're, drop us a sub if you're watching us on YouTube. Follow us on Kick. We'd like to get to 100 on there.
Rogersburg. Excuse me. Anyway, this is my town. The real truth is, I do have big stuff going on. Jackpot!
Yeah, I got a jackpot.
Yeah, a lot of people felt like in that era as well that you fit. Hey, this is my stereotype, so I'm supposed to beat up nerds. I'm
These are my
supposed to be
people.
that. Like, yeah, you kind of fell really hard into the stereotypes, which I mean, even in the '90s was like that. Like, oh, you were a grunge kid, right? Or you were a stoner. Like, you only could like these things. Because when I was a kid, I listened to a lot of hip hop music, and I hung out with like a lot of gangster type of kids. So like, oh, if I liked like a Nine Inch Nails song, like I kept that to myself. Because my friends would beat me up. Like, it was still, like, you couldn't waver too much by mixing who you were. And that's opened up, although there's still, I mean, that's part of high school and being a teenager. A lot of part of that is. I think there'll always be some part of that.
Damn, I missed all of
Because
that.
you're not going to ever get the clickiness out of high school. That's always going to be part of high school. Everybody's got to go through it.
Well, you're trying to figure out your own identity, and guess what? All that shit changes in college anyway, so...
And guess what? When you go work in an office,
Yeah.
it's still clicky. And there's
It's
still high school
clicky.
drama
Yeah,
going on.
absolutely. Fucking absolutely. Of like, it's the worst.
If
Like,
anything, it's worse.
it's worse.
Because these people have had all these decades to become bigger Karens or bigger
You're dealing
assholes.
with Martha over there of like, did you try my snickerdoodles? No,
And
Martha,
there's money
I'm not-
involved on top of that.
I'm trying to be on a diet. So you're saying you hate my snickerdoodles? No, Martha, I'm not saying that I hate your snickerdoodles. I just want sweets right now. God damn, it's only 8 o'clock in the morning.
I'm wheels. Together we're wheels and a leg man. You're the leg man.
Well, you also get people that feel like
What's this? It's a
that was the best point in their life was, high school. You do get people like that.
For me, the best thing about high school is the fact that time definitely felt like it was much shorter, like it's longer. Like days were longer, summers felt longer. You didn't feel as big of a push to get your life in order because you had your whole life ahead of you. That I can understand that. I want that feeling. I don't necessarily need to be that age, but I like to have that feeling where I'm like not worried about something that's supposed to happen. I feel like that's a big part of being an adult, is that you're always having to have one foot in the future. And it's harder to stay in the present. And when you're a kid, you're always staying, it's much easier to stay in the present. You went outside, you hung out with your friends, that's all that mattered. You weren't worried about anything else in that moment.
Yeah, exactly. You're not worried about your bills. You're not worried about where rent's coming from, where your next meal's gonna be from. Well, I guess some kids do go through that.
Well, my dad was labeled pretty much a. So my dad was like he wasn't a nerd, because he wasn't. My dad isn't that kind of book smart type of person, but he looked like a nerd, and so like he was picked on in that way. But when he did the last, I think, 2 years of high school at a public school, because he had went to Catholic school before that, you know, he was listening to like Black Sabbath and stuff like that. So people did think he was like, they were like demonic. Lovers, you know,
demon lovers.
And it was like, because my dad had the long hair, you know, that was you were a hippie, you were you know, anti everything, you know.
But you listen to Black Sabbath in the day of like, oh no, motherfucker definitely smells pot. Smokes pot.
But it wasn't quite as bad for my dad, because you got to remember, my dad grew up in the 60s in L.A. Like, he went to the same high school like the Doors went to, and like went over to like famous people's houses before they were famous, and like smoked weed and stuff. Like, that was part of the culture back then. So like everybody was doing it. And if you live in an artsy fartsy city like LA or New York, you probably weren't picked on nearly as much than if you were in Texas. If you were in Texas listening to Black Sabbath, dead. Cowboy coming to kill you.
Yeah, probably.
But not so much if you're at Hollywood High School. My dad went to Hollywood High School.
Oh my God.
He was, I think Jim Morrison was like 1 year ahead of him in high school.
Okay. He died young.
Yeah, 27. That's that magic age.
Yeah. For musicians, that's why I'm never gonna make it. I didn't.
You didn't die young enough.
I didn't die young enough. I like how my guitar teacher puts it of like, you need to record music because it's selfish of you to die with all that music inside of you. He says this with other people of like, it's honestly of like a very sweet, endearing thing of like, no, seriously, record things. Even if it's not great, of like, you know, that's something you can kick back to your family. It's something you can give back, you know, as something that, you know, the people that loved you, they can look back on. You know, like they can go back and listen to that, you know, the records that you were cutting.
I've made some music. I feel comfortable with that one 8-track cassette we put out.
Yeah.
Me and Sanchez. You Could Be Uglier Than You Are. That's my love that song. Kill the Teacher Because She Gave You an F, but make it look like a suicide because children could be tried as adults. The longest title. Those hits are they're gonna outlive me. Is really what it is. I'm leaving something for people. No new high score for you.
Nope.
Single player results.
No 77 million.
I know.
Well, Stan, I guess it makes no difference now.
Hey, I tried.
Together we're Wheels and the Lake Man. You're the Lake Man.
All right, this will be our last turn each on this, guys, before we move on to Bobby Burger.
Bob Burgers.
Which is a show I do not like for work. I don't hate it. This is not my show.
I do like that. I do like it.
I think it's because whatever his name be, Benjamin. I like him better as Archer, because it's the same guy. And he does pretty much the same voice as Bob anyway. And so it's just weird to hear Archer. You know what I mean? Like
there was an episode of Archer where they had a crossover. On Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'll take two legs in shake.
Let's see, guys, if I got what it takes for at least for some consistency and scoring on here. I definitely got some really high on the scoring here because of beating some of the missions. I think that's what's definitely kept me lately in the high score echelon. God, I can't even say that word.
It's a costume, and it's lovely. real truth is, I do have big stuff going on.
We'll be getting some new tables here with the new Pinball FX in 2024. So we'll be checking those out. They have some really cool video game tables, Borderlands, Homeworld, stuff like that. So we'll be adding those into the rotation, seeing if they're good enough. Are they good enough to be part of the High Score Challenge as well?
Thank the stars you made it. Come here, I got you.
Go Team Smith.
Look who made a speedy recovery. No.
It's a nice little combo there.
Not to be decided.
Got the combo twice. No thrice. There's thrice. Really hitting that multiple times. Here we go. Bullet. Whoa, that came down quick. I did watch a show, documentary on Netflix called Wrestlers. It follows a small wrestling promotion, just the kind of ups and downs. And if you know anything about wrestling, if you watch it during the Attitude Era, the wrestling promotion is Al Snow runs it. He was a wrestler in the late 90s and early 2000s in WWE. It's really good if you're interested in like how they even do the behind the scenes and everything like that. It used to be it's like Ohio wrestling or something like that. It used to be a development for WWE, but then they moved to Florida, so they don't have the same money behind them, and they have these two guys that like invest in it, and they don't really know much about wrestling. It's a really good show, talking about how things are run and just following the wrestlers and their lives and stuff. I hope it gets picked up for season 2 because I really enjoyed it. But I like wrestling. I like learning about how the writing works and like how they do the moves. Like I'm not one of those people that's like if I know how it's done, it ruins it for me. I think it makes it more interesting and fun if I know how things are done. It's same thing with Magic. Like it doesn't bother me to know. Lost that ball. Ooh, almost lost that one. And did lose that one.
Okay, let's do this.
Stand it now or never.
I'm ready.
No.
Maybe you're in charge there, where they don't serve grenadine. But out here, I'm the law. You're in McFreely Town, Royville, Rogersburg.
Rogersburg. This is my town.
But towards the end of the season, like the kind of guy that came in, he's like a sports radio guy who bought the wrestling promotion, like really starts to get along with the wrestlers because he comes in and tries to tell them what to do. Like if you have never been a wrestler, they do not like people coming in telling them what the hell to do. It's a certain type of lifestyle, but I highly recommend watching Wrestlers. It's a great. It's like what Heels is. If you guys, Heels was a TV show. Unfortunately, got canceled. It was really well done, and it was about a small wrestling promotion and the ins and outs of like how to run it. Plus, it had family drama. It was a TV show. This is like that, except that it's a documentary.
I do like my documentaries. Don't
watch Wrestlers on. I think you'd enjoy it. It's on Netflix. It's like 8 episodes. It follows a small wrestling promotion that used to be the development for WWE, but WWE moved to Florida.
Sure.
So this Ohio wrestling, whatever it is, association has been around for like 50 years. So they're about to lose money. Did you watch wrestling like during the Attitude Era?
So like I watched WCW.
Era? Okay. Do you know who Al Snow is? He was also in ECW. He had like that little head he used to carry.
Doesn't sound familiar.
All right, well, he's the guy who runs. He's in charge.
Okay.
And so it follows like how he has to write the shows. Like it follows the wrestlers, their personal lives, like them working together, and then two guys that don't know anything about wrestling buy into it to help try to keep it afloat.
Sure.
So it's like this big like difference because they're like, you're not wrestling people. And this guy's like kind of this asshole. He's like a big, because he's in Kentucky. He's like a big radio personality.
Okay.
For like local sports station.
Sure.
And he comes in and he tries to like just lay down the law, and the wrestlers are like, we do not like that guy.
Yeah.
And so like it's a really interesting show, like showing the dynamics. And it's got like this wrestling family, this lady who used to do
Didn't beat a high score, right?
this lady used to do hardcore wrestling, and then her daughter, she was estranged from her daughter, but she's a wrestler now. And this girl's like 22, and she is super talented, but she's also 22. So like, she thinks she's like the best at everything. She's like one of those like white blonde chicks that's kind of gangster, southern gangster. You know what I'm talking? You know what kind of girl I'm talking about, right?
I got you.
And so she's got a bad attitude,
I
but
dated
like
a couple of girls like that.
yeah, and so, but she's just so talented. Like, even with that, if you can still do good, even though you have all those problems, imagine if you didn't. So it's a really great show. So I suggest it, guys, if you're interested in wrestling at all, or even not, if you're just interested in like how things work.
Right. So guys, I gotta say, I've been a broken record about this, and I've been talking about it a lot, and I'm gonna continue talking about it because it's great to talk about great things. Blue Eye Samurai, which is a Netflix anime that's done totally in CGI. It's featured in the Edo period of Japan. It has this great story of Mizu, who is a woman pretending to be a man, because women were not allowed to be samurais in Edo, Japan, but women were able to do plenty of other things. Of like, there was a sense of freedom that is not portrayed in the show. They make it look like all geishas were kind of tethered to their employers, which some were, absolutely. Like, if you're impoverished and whatnot and you were bought for, of like, there may be a period of time to where you would need to do unsavory things to buy your freedom out. Kind of not as bad as the Romans. I mean, if we're looking at it historically speaking, it wasn't as bad as the Romans. Because if you were a slave in Roman times, of like, you might be able to get yourself out of it, but you might not. In Edo, Japan, they had, so this is like the 1600s to about 1800s. So about a 200-year period. And the thing that they don't do in the show is the Dutch were allowed to, only the Dutch, it was just the Dutch that was allowed to trade with the Japanese at that time. And everyone else was closed off. But they got a little too nuts for Japan's culture, for them to be able to have their religion and their economy the way that they saw it going. They thought that they might have been overruled by Western influence, and honestly, that might actually have been the case. Trying to deal with this multi-ball here.
We're not going to a steakhouse, but there will be steaks. High stakes.
High stakes. So, Blue Eye Samurai. Sorry, I got this shootout. Nope. Couldn't quite nail it. No, don't do that. I hate it when it goes on those bumpers. I feel like it's every time it goes to that bumper, I swear it's gonna be a drain for me. Of like, it's just gonna that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna be like spaghetti thrown on the wall from your butthole. And that's what it's gonna be.
Well, you're getting top secret.
Anyway, Blue Eye Samurai is really well done. The storytelling is on point. I feel like They address the social issues of Edo period quite well. They don't introduce many of the folklore, which is not needed for the show. But you have this this complete series, and if that's all that happens out of Netflix, because we all know how Netflix goes, of like, shoot again, okay. Netflix sometimes has these rock star television series that you want to see continue on, and then they get canceled, and they just don't happen again.
I played 2 Barbie games this year, so that's...
You played 2 Barbie games?
I played also Barbie Magic of the Pegasus. That one was great. Let's see. I finally got to play Vampire Survivors. I was definitely hooked on that. I know why people put hundreds of hours into that game. It's so unique. It's such a bizarre kind of role-playing roguelite that you use no buttons. All you use is directions. All of your attacks are automatic. It's just such a bizarre game, but it works so well, and it's so addicting. Arcade Paradise was a great game, a sim, where you basically inherit a laundromat from your father who wants you to succeed. He thinks that you haven't been putting forth enough effort in your adult life. And you find a couple of arcades in the back, and you plug them in and you start charging people for the arcade games. So you start making money and building the arcade and making the laundromat smaller and smaller. And each of the arcade games are playable, and they're all classic games revisited. Like, they're not named the same thing, but they're a play on a classic game. That game was a lot of fun as well. I really enjoyed that. I finally beat Kid Icarus this year after 50,000 years. Super Mario Wonder, obviously amazing game. According to 0071, because I didn't 100% it, I didn't beat it. But you know what I say to him? Kiss my shoes and socks after I've been running in a marathon and I don't exercise.
You know it's going to be extra sweaty.
And then yesterday, I wasn't feeling too well, and I was just had Frasier, classic Frasier on the background. And I was like, hey, you know what? Instead of scrolling on my phone, why don't I just play my Switch handheld while I have Frasier on? So Music had bought me for my birthday Double Dragon Gaiden, which is a new Double Dragon. And it's like a roguelite where you can upgrade your characters. And each level is procedurally generated where it's different. I beat the game all the way through. You should never be able to beat a roguelite game on your first playthrough.
Right.
That defeats the purpose of permanent death. That's like hardcore mode, and then you just like, that's it. I beat it. That wasn't very hardcore.
Nope.
So it was fun. It was cool. It had a cool tag mechanic. So you basically had 2 players that you could switch. You could switch the characters in and out. So your other character would regain life, a la Marvel vs. Capcom style, which was fun. The graphics were great, but it was not difficult at all. I could, every time you died, if you had enough money, you could get a continue and continue immediately. And I had to do that a few times, but I didn't. I never had to spend more than I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was barely anything.